Hey, good Friday evening to you. How is everybody this evening? I, of course, am your happy host, Mr. Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. Good to see you. I hope you're all doing okay this evening. Listen, I want to thank everybody who expressed their concern and shared their well wishes today. I honestly didn't know if I would be doing a live stream. This last 2 weeks has been so completely berserk. I don't even know where to start with how crazy things have been. But one thing I do know where to start. I need to start by raising up my chair because I feel like I'm sitting in a hole here. Hang on. There we go. That's a little bit better. But yeah, this morning when I was planning on going out and doing some yard work and that sort of thing and cleaning up branches and trees that I'd felled to deal with the middle crisis of cleaning up the trees from around the house, my lovely wife required immediate medical attention. So we jumped up and went to the emergency room, and fortunately, it was a very well-staffed and well appointed standalone emergency care facility, not like a walk-in clinic where you go in and you're like, hey, I sprained my hand. Here's an ace bandage and some moderate, some couple Tylenol 3 and, ice it, fluids, rest, prop it up, whatever. This is like an ER, but in an outbuilding. And we were the only people there. We arrived there like 9:45, and it was literally just empty. You could have played racquetball in the hall. So they took very, very good care of us. God bless them over there, and they got everything taken care of. It was not a serious issue, but it was causing my wife a lot of pain. But she's okay now. She is hopefully on the mend, so we'll knock on wood. Hail Michael Connor, Unbreaded. Good evening to you, Mobius. Luther, I'm okay. I was a little stressed out this morning, a little worried about the misses, because we're at that age, and I guess it can hit any time where it's like, oh, I'm not feeling good. We'll go to the walk-in or doctor or whatever. Oh, you got to go to the hospital. I didn't know what it was going to be. So we went down there and, they ran some tests and CAT scan and all that jazzmatazz. And they're just like, hey, here's a couple strong antibiotics, some painkiller. You're going to be fine. It is this. So yeah, we drove down a moderately bumpy patch of road this morning. But going into that, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know if right now I'd still be sitting down there. So I had to let you guys know, because I wasn't fishing for sympathy or anything, but I just wanted you guys to know what was going on, because things have been off and on and up and down around the studio, right? Missing days because of this and that. And I just felt like it was necessary for me to keep you guys informed. So thank you everyone for your well wishes. Thank you, Luther. Robert, we lucked out. Like I said, nobody else in the facility, it was us and the doctors. I feel like we had the full attention of the entire staff. Obviously, if they had had a sudden influx, it would have been normal. But yeah, so we didn't have to get triaged. It was just, you're taken care of. So we got home about 12:30, and I just been tending to her. And don't worry, both of my daughters, I have an adult daughter and an older teenage daughter, and they know if a crisis comes up, they can just burst right in here, and then I'll disappear. I'll just click end broadcast and be gone. And I think you guys will understand. So that's what went down today. And I was super duper tired last night, so I didn't get to the Stranger Things video editing, which was part of my plan for today, you know, work out in the yard, work till it hits the hot part of the day, edit the video, upload the video. So all that's going to happen this weekend because we're supposed to get hit with a tropical storm. Now, if you don't live in Florida, our preparedness, our concern about hurricanes goes, tropical depression, it's like a couple of days long rainstorm, not even thunderstorm, not even proper storm. Tropical storm is a couple days long thunderstorm. It just means I won't be able to go to Publix and get a pub sub. I'll stay in. Category 1, I might be without power for 3 minutes. Like I literally might have a flicker. Category 2, I'll check with the neighbors and make sure that they bring in any of the neighborhood cats. Category 3, I'll move any of our plastic lawn furniture into like the notch, the wind notch on the house. Category 4, I'll have a couple bottles of water and some ravioli and some charcoal for the grill. Category 5, we leave. We just leave. So I'm not super concerned about the tropical storm this weekend. It will actually give me an excuse to not go out on the yard and continue to cut down trees, but to stay in here and produce video for you guys, power permitting. Yeah, it's not great weather down in the Keys right now. I did have some friends who lived in the Keys. They, as far as I know, their swan song for living in the Keys was actually a hurricane that did do some damage to our house. It's for 2017. I can't remember the hurricane, but basically just tore straight up the middle of the state. And it was only a cat, like a strong cat 2 by the time it got up to Central Florida. But yeah, it came ashore on the front porch of where they lived down in the Keys. So that was that for them. The new Stranger Things is pretty good, and I have seen episode 1. I did watch episode 1. I want to touch on something, and I thought about this a little bit. And I could fall down a real philosophy hole here, but I do want to talk a little bit about A2 tonight. And kind of like prep for that deep dive, you know, like climb up the high dive platform and stand there, you know, and get our feet together and get in our stance for the actual deep dive itself. That's right. I forget. I have a lot of Florida folks here. Damien and Doomsword, he's over on the East Coast. Michael Connor is down south of me. But I want to touch on something that occurred to me today when I was kind of polishing up the script a little bit for the video. After we got home, I was holding my wife's hand the whole time when we were at the ER. Don't worry, I wasn't thinking about this. And spoiler alert about the new Stranger Things. If you care about it and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe turn the audio off and look for me to, I don't know. I'll hold this up again when I'm done talking about Stranger Things. How about that? If you don't want it spoiled. So the new Stranger Things. The meta narrative of Stranger Things is the duality of the characters. No one is exactly as they initially appear. People have layers and levels. In season 1, this is exemplified by the boys, all of whom play Dungeons and Dragons. You play an alter ego, a different you, another self when you play D&D. And I know a lot of people approach it more as a war game where they're not like, I will draw my sword and attack the dragon. They'll say, Findalas the elf draws his sword and attacks the dragon. You know, people put a second or third person step between them and their characters, but most people think, I do this, I do that. So the boys all wear this dual sense of self. You know, 11 is a little girl, but she's also a powerful weapon. And then in the larger sense, there's reality, and then there's the upside down. Dual existences, photo negatives of one another. And Hopper, you know, Hopper is the sheriff, and therefore, you know, the sober center of authority, but he's also, you know, this kind of a bum in his own way. And I thought so much about that. Steve, the character of Steve, you know, he's this consummate dude bro, you know, members only jacket, comes from well-to-do, that sort of thing. But by the end of the show, he's showing a completely different side of his personality. He doesn't show up and see them preparing the traps and preparing to fight the whatever. He is just like, okay, give me a weapon. Let's fight this thing. And this season, all of the seasons touch on this duality. And episode 1 of season 4 really does it also. Episode 1 of season 4 really, really touches on the duality of many of the characters. You know, Eddie isn't just a one-dimensional D&D geek. His other dimension is, you know, with the drug dealing and so on. The cheerleader Chrissy, you know, she's a pretty and popular girl. She goes to Eddie to buy ketamine and pot because she has severe psychological problems, which of course are exacerbated by whatever the evil force in this season is. So, and there's so many other different points, but the one that I think is the most humorous is the character of Matthew Modine. In the beginning, when the incidents happen at Hawkins' lab in episode 1 of season 4, when we're introduced to him, he's a conscientious fatherly figure to these kids. He's not the cold technocrat we know from the first couple of seasons. He legitimately cares for these children, and it's obvious. But Modine's casting is very, very interesting to me, because if you're not a fan of his work, or if you don't know his work, Matthew Modine was in Stanley Kubrick's excellent Full Metal Jacket. He plays a Marine who becomes a combat reporter for the United States Marine Corps in Vietnam. And there's a point at which he's out in the field and a general approaches him and demands to know why he has "Born to Kill" written on his helmet and a black and white peace emblem pinned to his body armor. And he says, the general is really down on him about it. And he says, "I think it says something about the duality of man, sir." Of course, the general, doesn't have time for that. This is a guy who's in his 50s during the Vietnam War, so he's probably a World War II and Korea vet. So he just snaps back at him and says, "The what?" To which Modine says, "That Jungian thing, sir." The general just kind of thinks about it for a second and berates him some more. So I thought that was kind of an interesting touch. But yeah, I kind of feel like that's the overall theme of all of the seasons of Stranger Things, is the duality of mankind and the duality of reality itself, with the upside down being this horrible negative of our own reality. So I'm not really going to launch into that. I'm going to talk more about D&D and that sort of thing when I do the pre-recorded review. So with that said, I'm done talking about Stranger Things season 4, episode 1 for the night. Let's talk more. Speaking of dual things, dual meaning two, let's talk about A2, Secret of the Slaver's Stockade. Now, as you guys know, the first module that I owned, the first Dungeons and Dragons that I owned, was B2, Keep on the Borderlands. The next D&D module that I purchased was A1, Slave Pits of the Undercity. The first D&D book of any kind I ever held and read through was actually A2, Secret of the Slaver's Stockade. Somebody that I knew in middle school brought it, and I leafed through it. My mind was blown. Here was this world of magic and sorcery and adventure, and I had read Tolkien and some Lovecraft and some Howard and so on by that point, mostly Tolkien. But they're all passive affairs. This pulled you in and said, when this happens, this will happen. If this happens, this will happen. When the narrative flow was something that I had never seen before, ever. I was shook by this module. And so we're going to take a look at it here. And I've got this. Now, I will admit, I could not find my PDF on this machine. I think they're all still on the editing PC over there. But this is actually a pretty okay online e-reader kind of thing, sort of copy of it. So let's go ahead and take a crack at this. Now, this is A1 was written by Dave Cook. Well, A2, and remember, they're written in reverse order, but A2 was written by Harold Johnson and Tom Moldvay. Now, Tom Moldvay, of course, created an excellent basic D&D. His was the second beginner Dungeons and Dragons. Really, Holmes, people call it Holmes Basic. It is an introductory set, and it is really meant to replace and supplant the white box. The introduction in Holmes Basic is identical to the introduction in the OD D set. So a lot of people do call it basic. I try to shy away from that. It was really Tom Moldvay who did the first completely other than, like, clearly separate from AD&D with the word basic incorporated into it. And he also created, with Harold Johnson, this module. So without much more ado, let's have a gander at it. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for the kind words. So let's have a gander at it, and I'm going to see. Does that? No. Yeah, it is a good one. Share screen, and we're going to, let me bring this over here so you guys can actually see that. Okay, so here we go. Dungeon Module A2, Secret of the Slaver's Stockade. And I'm going to zoom in this so I can kind of read you this text a little bit. Can I get that maybe a little clearer? The battle against the slavers continues. You and your fellow adventurers have defeated the slavers of Highport. But you have learned of the existence of another slaver stronghold, and you have decided to continue the attack. But beware. Only the most fearless of adventurers could challenge the slavers on their own ground and live to tell of it. This module was originally used for the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Tournament at Gen Con 13 convention, and is the second of 4 in a series of related tournament modules from TSR Hobbies. So let's bring that down. And let's take a gander, and we have some more great Jeff D. art. This is, by the way, this is Jim Rosloff, the late Jim Rosloff's artwork on the cover there, and it is beautiful. So intriguing to me when I was a kid. I didn't know, I knew that, like, these people were warriors, but I didn't know what was good. Like, who is this purple guy? Who's the guy that's got him on a leash? What's going on there? So fascinating. So let's see. There we go. I can zoom in. Now, of course, we have the blurb. And there's that fellow who stands in a cooking fire, by the way. This isn't lava. He's not some kind of fire elemental or giant or anything. He is standing in a cooking fire in a kitchen and throwing hot fat. He literally, that's his attack on your party. And that's not just interesting shading over his eyes. He's blind. Because his I hesitate to call her a girlfriend because she's not. She's more of a prisoner that he likely uses for unsavory purposes, but is a Medusa. So, well, why she doesn't just have the snakes bite him. But anyhow, so background. There we go. Thank you. The coastal lands of the Sea of Girnet have long been raided by the ruthless slave lords, traders in human misery. Now, right there, right off the bat, anybody who gets their panties in a wad about there being slavery in Dungeons and Dragons, they're not saying they're good or misunderstood or the players can join them. Okay? Right off the bat, they're traders in human misery, but we move on. After years of argument, the sovereigns of the area have finally decided to take action against them. A band of fearless adventurers was gathered and sent to investigate the slavers' base in the decayed city of Highport, Dungeon Module A1, Slave Pits of the Undercity. The slavers were discovered to be operating out of a ruined temple dedicated to the orcish god Grumsh. After defeating the orcs, the implacable adventurers discovered a secret trap door leading to the sewers beneath the temple. There they found the dreaded slave pits, guarded not only by orcs and ogres, but also by creatures more foul, including the horrible insect men. After all these were beaten, the adventurers encountered and defeated one of the slave lords managing the operation in Highport. As a result of their victory, the party obtained records of slaver activities and a map of their caravan route. The map has led the party inland from Highport to an old fort lost in the midst of the Draken's Grab Hills. Supposedly, this stockade is used as a way station by humanoid caravan merchants who dare risk travel across these perilous lands. The party's map, however, indicates that the fort is really a front for the slavers and that it is being used as a processing and fattening house for newly acquired slaves. The information agrees with that received from a slave who escaped from the stockade. The slaves are brought with the mock caravans, but they are never seen to leave. To help fulfill their mission, the player characters decide to investigate the old fort. And then we've got the tournament instructions here. Sections of this module were used as a part of the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Open Tournament at Gen Con 13 Gaming Convention 1980. Instructions are given for using this module, along with the other modules of the A series, to reconstruct the tournament should players and DM wish to do so. Information included for this purpose consists of the tournament maps, descriptions of encounters, a scoring sheet, and the original characters used in the tournament. This module may also be used as a regular adventure campaign for the world of Greyhawk. In fact, the tournament dungeon is only part of a larger campaign dungeon given in this module. Information which does not apply to tournament use will be clearly marked where it occurs. And then we have notes for the dungeon master, hill fort strategy, and so on. Now, the hill fort is quite a tough nut for the party to crack. In tournament mode, there's the whole, you know, the slave told you exactly where to go and enter the fortress. In campaign mode, the party has got quite the challenge to enter this. Speaking of challenges in this module, though, as good as this module is, and it is quite good, once again, TSR really fell down after the comparatively easy to read and generous maps we got in the D series, the G series, the S series modules, and so on. The maps are crap. Not in their level of detail and whatnot. I just mean they're badly copied in, and we're going to take a look at those. We're going to do a much deeper dive into this. So if it seems like I'm just glossing over this and not really touching too much on details, we've got some deep diving to do. I promised you guys a deep dive, and a deep dive we'll get. Right now, we're kind of taking the 10,000 foot view. So let me show you this. Let me show you how bad the map print is. The map is good. The print is bad. So we're just going to go all the way to the back, and unfortunately I got to click through where you guys can kind of get a view. Not a lot of artwork in this module, by the way. That's the right here. You see there the pillared hall with the stairs going down? That's like the second piece of art in the module. So it's chock full of stuff. There's the third. And then we have some, there's the fourth, and we have new monsters: Phantom, Boggle, Cloaker, and the Haunt. Now here's our tournament characters. They are identical to as they were in A1. So nothing's different about them. Here are modular dungeon pieces to kind of give the DM more of a sense of understanding. This is in the fort itself. This is the kitchen area where you fight Captain Grease Thrower. And then these are almost like stickers. Unfortunately, they're not, but I love those. Those are awesome little pieces. Okay, here are our maps of the hill fort and of the dungeon. Now, we don't get, there's the back with that awesome cloaker attack done by Errol Otis. We don't get a separate tournament map. What they do with this is the tournament areas are shaded. If it's not shaded, it's not in the tournament. Look at this. This in the print module over here in the left corner, I'm going to try and zoom into it so we can see it a little bit better. This little online PDF reader is not great. But if you don't have some way to zoom in, this thing is nearly impossible to read, at least with my old eyes. But there is a dense packing of rooms here. And honestly, the upper works of the fort should have been its own map page. Like, consider the size of the map that you get for the upper part of the steading in G1. That's what this should have got. That's not what we got. We got something that barely takes up a quarter of the page. And knowing what areas are tournament and what areas are not can be a little difficult. Once again, Scourge of the Slave Lords is handy. Scourge of the Slave Lords is handy because its a map booklet remedies that. These maps are much bigger in the booklet. But of course, nowadays, you can scan this and print it out to size. Fun bit of trick. Well, it's fun to me. I have on this table here, I have just enough room and I own enough Dwarven Forge that I can build this entire upper works area from the inner courtyard back. I can build the whole thing in Dwarven Forge for the players to explore. I put that thing up on my table and it sat there for like a year. I was very pleased with it. But then there is a very detailed, and it's hard to see. Again, I apologize for the quality of this PDF. Look at that. They couldn't give us a good PDF scan, but they gave us this 3D OpenGL page flip mechanism. And it's flexing the page depending on where I've got the mouse, like a real piece of paper. Anyway, so the shaded areas, is it the white areas are tournament only and the shaded areas are not? I honestly don't remember, but that's how they differentiate, and it's kind of a crappy differentiation. And they do the same thing with the dungeon. The dungeon map is a little bit better because they give us a whole page instead of trying to cram the curtain wall, because the curtain wall itself, which is this section over here in front of the stockade, if you can see where my mouse is going back and forth here, it is a multi-story barbican, and all the independent levels are over here. So we get that. We get the upper works, which is on top of the kitchen, just sort of floating around down here. And then we get this key. So a map that should be this big is just a quarter of the page. And I don't like that at all. But again, the dungeon map is a much better layout, and likewise, it has tournament areas versus non-tournament areas blocked out. And we do get some separate geomorphs here for those aforementioned areas where the DM would like a little bit more detail. So we have our characters. We have new monsters. The Boggle, which I hate. What if Gollum, but teleporting and covered with lard? The Boggle. The Cloaker, which continues a fine tradition of D&D monsters that look like something you can wear. We have the Cloaker. We have the Executioner's Hood. I feel like there's something else, you know. I've always said it would be fun to have a room in a dungeon where you look in and it's like, okay, there's a chest, stone floor, stone ceiling. There's an old desiccated or petrified tree in the corner with a hat, you know, just a bag of a hat and a cloak hanging on it. And beyond that, you can see like a green meadow with a tree stump with a rabbit sitting on it. So there's a lurker above and a trapper. The chest is a mimic. The desiccated tree is a chemfolt. The bag of a hat hanging on the tree is an executioner's hood. The cloak is obviously a cloaker, and outside is a wolf in sheep's clothing. We get some interesting spiritual kind of monsters here. The Phantom. Soulless shells left behind by particularly strong death trauma, phantoms are merely images and have no power to directly cause harm and cannot themselves be harmed. Because of superstitious awe, however, anyone who gazes on the translucent form of a phantom must save versus spells at -2 or immediately panic and run away as if under the effects of a fear spell. They're like a three-dimensional motion picture filmed at the same time as a character's death. They have no intelligence and neither are they alive or undead. A phantom often records the death trial of the character or images of what was foremost in the character's mind when he or she died. They're often mistaken to be ghosts, haunts, or groaning spirits, but may not be turned as undead. The clerical spell Exorcism will dispel a phantom. So those are interesting audio-visual monsters. And then we also have the Haunt. And I will answer your question in just a minute, Damien. I promise. Sorry. So we have the Haunt. The restless spirit of a person who died, leaving a vital task unfinished. Where it died. The Haunt's sole purpose is to possess a living body and use it to complete the task, thus gaining a final release from its existence. Haunts can assume either two forms at will: a hovering, luminescent ball of light, identical in appearance to a will-o-wisp, or a nebulous, translucent image of the haunt's former body. Haunts are similar in appearance to a groaning spirit, specter, or ghost, for which they are often mistaken. A haunt's attacks will drain 2 points of dexterity per hit. As a character's dexterity is drained, he or she will suffer the penalties of lower dexterity. The character will feel an increasing numbness and cold creeping over his or her body. When a character's dexterity reaches 0, the haunt will step into the body and possess. Once a body is possessed, the dexterity will return to normal. The haunt will use the possessed body to complete its unfulfilled task, which need not necessarily be dangerous. Once the task is completed, the haunt will pass on to its final rest, and the victim will regain control of its body. When the haunt leaves a victim, the character will have a dexterity of 3. Lost dexterity may be regained at a rate of 1 point for each turn of complete rest. If a haunt's possessed body is slain, it will haunt the place where the body was killed. If the possessed victim has an alignment opposite to that of the haunt, good versus evil, the haunt will try to strangle the character. It will fasten its ghostly hands around the victim's neck on a successful 2-hit roll. The victim will then take 1 point of damage for the first round, 2 for the second, 3 for the third, and so on until dead or the haunt is driven off. They may not be turned because they are linked to the site of their death. I think that was supposed to be SITE. When in their own forms, haunts can only be struck by silver and magical weapons and by fire. Weapons only cause 1 point of damage per attack, plus any magical bonuses. Fire will inflict 1 point of damage per round. Magical fire will do full damage. When a haunt is reduced to 0 hit points, it will lose control of its ectoplasm and fade away. The haunt will reform in 1 week to haunt its location again until its task is completed. Exorcism destroys a haunt forever. Any attacks on a possessed character will do full damage to the character. The only safe way to free a possessed character, possessed person, are to use an exorcism or a hold person spell. When a hold person spell is used, the haunt must save versus paralyzation or it will be expelled from the body. A haunt must remain within 6 inches of the place where it died until it possesses a body. The best defense against a haunt is to leave the area it inhabits. And then we can see its stats. See, under intelligence, I would have maybe said see below rather than non. So anyway, I want to answer Damien's question. Would pass without trace cover both visual and audio clues that somebody just walked past? Would it confound the blind enemy's hearing? Well, let's look at the rules, as it were, of pass without trace to answer your question. Let's see. Let me see if I can find this. Is it... Where is the player's handbook? All right, player's handbook. And we'll bring this over here. And then blow it up. All right, let's find... Pass without trace. The recipient can move through any type of terrain and leave neither footprint nor scent. Oh, Robert Phillips, thank you. Thank you. Robert Phillips, I appreciate that. Good news from the Arkenstone Assessor's Office. Finally found where our dog Snigwit buried the Arkenstone in the backyard. Have a Coke and a smile. Robert, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that. From the Delver to Robert, we appreciate it. Okay, so leave neither footprint nor scent. Thus, tracking a person or other creature covered by this dwemer is impossible. And Damien's question, would pass without trace cover both visual and audio clues that someone just walked? I would say no. I would say that it does not. That a blind enemy would not be confused by it. Remember, if you want to go past them in that capacity, I would say the chief spell to use, and this could really screw with them, is if you hit them with silence 15-foot radius. You cast silence 15-foot radius on that expert blind fighter, and they're hosed. Now, you might have some player, maybe a younger one, who says, oh, but my character's like Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he hears by sensing vibrations in the ground. Look, silence 15-foot radius stops it stops vibrations from sound. All right, they just don't pass into that area. And if they start getting nitpicky and saying, well, if it stops all vibrations, then the temperature just automatically drop to absolute zero and everybody in it should die. Just smack them. No, don't hit anybody. But they know what you mean. They're just being nitpicky. So I would not know. Pass without trace is screw up a ranger or a druid and their ability to find you. That's what pass without trace does. And I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question, Damien. So our blind fighter in this case, and we'll read up about him. We will read up about him. Would not be bamboozled by such an effect. Damien says it does. It does what? Oh, this page turning thing. And next to Clavdra and Loth, this module has one of the best villainesses in AD&D. Has Marquesa, who Paul Stormberg really gigged his party with Marquesa. Because they had a... Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha, Damien. She basically got with child. And I can't remember if he told me that she polymorphed herself as the paramour of one of the party members and then got with child, or what the circumstances were of her becoming in a motherly way. But when the party was getting ready to strike her down, she threw open her robes and exposed her gravid form and said, well, you can't slay me. I bear an innocent child. And with a paladin in the party, he was like, she's technically right. That's the best kind of right. So they couldn't kill Marquesa out of hand. I don't know what happened to her after that. We'll have to hector Paul when he gets back from North Texas, perhaps. Now this module, and we're going to see, has a lot more of the cool things that I like in AD&D. I was talking about like clockwork kind of technology. It's got some examples of that in it in places. One of the cool things about this module, about this map, is the hill fort is not... This is not just a fortress that the players have to break into and then furtively move from room to room, because the whole thing, it's like, guards everywhere and well-ordered rooms. The fortress is kind of like the temple in A1. It was abandoned and then reoccupied by the slavers, who built it back up and started living in it. But there are parts of it, and this goes into it, there are parts of it that the slavers and their hobgoblin allies don't go into. The party, and I have had adventurers do this in this module, unlike G1, say, or S1, where a party would have to leave, establish a camp far away, and keep coming back. In A2, the party can literally, as long as they're careful with their raids, establish themselves in a stronghold in the stockade itself, because there are places, the haunt and the not the specter, we just said its name a minute ago, but the two kinds of spirit creatures, there are at least one example of each in the upper stockade. Passed him by. The Phantom. So there are places in the stockade, proper buildings, rooms, where the humans and their humanoid allies don't go. And once you get down into the underground dungeon levels, as we'll see, that's not really an option for the players. But if they're keeping the monsters off balance and they know how to deal with Marquesa, and they're using, say, Pass Without Trace, then they can actually fight from the inside. They just have to be exceptionally careful. This is one of the rare dungeon adventures where if the players are careful, yes, they can hide out in the dungeon and possibly, potentially even find helpful allies, as we'll see when we go into this. There's one other thing I want to touch on. One other thing. And I've talked about this, and I've had people on the stream years ago when I first did a sort of D&D Antiques Roadshow about this module. And that is, this module introduces the Drow. If you have not run the G series, if you're holding the Drow, now everybody knows about Drow. Everybody knows about Drow, right? They're the preternaturally good, light purple-skinned elves who are misunderstood. No, that's not the case at all. Drow show up in this module, but they also show up in the D series, well, and G3. So you got a problem. If you want to introduce the Drow as a surprise for the characters, again, the players aren't going to be surprised. But if the players are good players, they'll play their characters as these obsidian-skinned elves. We've never heard of such things. Then you've got to do something different. I would say maybe make them Darrow or Duragar. But here, Area 38, underground cavern. The tunnel opens into a large natural cavern. In the southeast corner of the cavern are a number of black-skinned elves leading slaves who are carrying packs. This cavern serves as a trading station for Drow, Black Elf, caravans that trade with the hill fort. The Drow caravans come from deeper inside the earth, and the tunnel that the Drow caravan is entering leads to a series of caves which run ever deeper under the hill and are thus suitable for further adventures should the DM wish. The caravan consists of a merchant and 7 guards. The merchant, and then we get chainmail +3, mace +2. He has cure light wounds, detect magic, hold person, speak with animals. Guard leader, chainmail +2, shield +1, dagger +1, short sword +2. The guards, chainmail +1, short sword +1, and 2 poison javelins, save versus or die. They have the power to cast dancing lights, darkness, and fairy fire, natural abilities of the drow of their level. All the weapons and armor carried by drow are of special manufacture and do not radiate magic. If exposed to sunlight, they lose their magical properties immediately and corrode within 2 weeks. Make this something else. Make these Darrow, make these Duragar. If you want to save the drow as a surprise for the characters, change this encounter. Don't spoil it here. That's my advice to you. That is my advice to you. So, oops, sorry about that. So we are just about at the point where we're going to kick off our Let's Play Gamma World game again. That's right. We're going to re-enter Gamma World. I see James waiting in the green room, and we have got some folks ready to roll, I am certain. But before we do that, I want to take a minute. And I want to thank the folks who help keep the lights on around here, literally and figuratively. So to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob, can't say that, Gillis, Jeremy Roll, Bo Ganora, Mikey Mank, and of course, Sky Hernstrom. I extend my endless gratitude. Thank you all very much. So before we jump into the game, or now that we have thanked those who deserve that consideration, although I should say that kind of comes off a little clunky. I shouldn't say that deserve our consideration. All of you guys who support the channel, who are subscribed to the channel, deserve my thanks. All right. If you just came by, if you just swung by, click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notification. If you like this kind of content, it helps work that algorithm, There we go. It helps work that algorithm. It lets me know what you like. And I appreciate everybody who subscribes to the channel. Whether you're over on Facebook, whether you subscribe to me on YouTube, I really do appreciate it. So thank you all so very, very, very much. That is awesome. So let's see where my headphones are over there. That's fine. We're going to get started here in just a minute. And by the way, for those of you who are keeping score at home, we are at 1,085 subscribers. It's like hovered in the 1,080s. I was kind of hoping we'd break 1,100 by now, but I don't, and that's on me, right? I got to make good content that folks want to see. So it's been kind of weird to watch it yo-yo between like 1,080 and up as high as like 1,087, and then back down to like 1,081, and it's just sort of been, So if you're out there and you just drove by and you're like, I wonder what this guy's got going on, click that subscribe button. Help a brother out. So next week, starting on Monday, we will begin a truly deep dive into A2. We're gonna roll up our sleeves and really gonna get into the guts of that module. Tuesday night, yes, there will be a Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we will be doing our Let's Play First Edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And then Wednesday, of course, Wastrel Wednesday, Kyle Schuant will be back in the house. Thursday, if we have gotten through A2 to everybody's satisfaction, we'll start A3. If not, we'll continue on. And then Friday, same. And all sorts of other things going on in the in-between. So at this point, we're just waiting for a couple of folks to join. I'm going to message. And by the way, if you're interested at all in any respect in hopping into the Friday night game, I think we might have a seat or two left. If you want to play some first edition Gamma World, let me know. Let's see. Let's open up my copy of Gamma World here. Open with. Oh, that's nice, but that's not what I wanted. Sorry. Oh, there is something I want to mention. Look, this isn't sponsored or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but Threshold Dice Works on Facebook. Threshold Dice Works is a guy, he's just a guy who makes sharp-edged, old-school Holmes introductory set D&D dice. He is taking pre-orders for his next run of those dice. If you want a set of actual sharp-edged Holmes D&D like dice, look him up on Facebook. I put in my pre-order today. I don't have to pay till I get here, but check him out on Facebook. Because if his stuff is as half as good as it looks, then it may be some of the best dice going out there. Just my 2 cents on the subject. We are just waiting at this point on at least one other person. Let's see. Yes. Sorry, I'm just I'm getting messy. I'm a popular guy. All right. So let me look at my. There we go. Yes, Mobius. He is on Etsy. And I don't blame you for not getting. Let me see. Let's see. I will share the Etsy link since that is easier. Yeah, you guys can go check out his stuff, and he is once again taking his pre-orders. So hit him up, and he will tell you how to order his dice. They are worth your time. And without further ado, for I have done it. Uh-oh. My headphone cord was caught. Let's welcome to the chat, James Keck.
Hello.
Welcome. And Yang Yang Zhao. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
So Doomsword, who was planning on joining the game, is up to his neck. And let me tell you something. Around these parts, we understand that. We get it. We absolutely get it. So he will be joining us in a couple of weeks as a regular player. We would rather you play when it's not going to impact you. And that's something, you know, and I'm sure my players here understand this and the audience understands it. We do play role-playing games to escape, but a lot of times there's just stuff that takes priority, you know? There's just things that come along that take priority. So we will see you on the flip side, and thank you for being in the audience, Doomsword. We do appreciate it. So when last we left our adventurers, and it was a minute ago, they had gone into the innermost depths of the ancient missile base that was now the fortress, the durance of protection for Goodwater and nearby communities, to adjust an ancient power source lest it cause, shall we say, difficulties. Of course, like a great many pre-war items, this was fraught with peril. But in their explorations of heretofore undiscovered parts of the base, they found an artificial human in the form of what appears to the eye to be a pure strain human female, but she is completely without any kind of gestalt thus far. So she'll pretty much do within reason what you tell her to do. She's not your chattel. You don't think you're your slave, but there is a degree of naivety about her. And you have returned to the surface now, having escaped the security bots loose, and power is once again restored. So what's your next move, adventurers?
Oh, what do you guys want to do?
I had to throw mine in there.
So, was this synthetic human lady awake, conscious,
Yes.
active? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Did she have a name?
I don't believe so.
Nope, she sure does not.
He is completely devoid of programming as far as like protocol or anything. She's waiting for input.
We're going to imprint on her.
We're hoping we can get her to learn how to do like maintenance work or whatever, like on some of the ancient vehicles and such.
Well, let's get her some manuals.
Yeah.
Got to be some in the base.
Certainly, there must have been an HR department around here somewhere.
Can we do some searches on some of the computer systems to see if there's any digital files that would come in handy here?
Oh yeah, who wants to do some searching on a computer terminal?
Rex, you want to do this one?
Well, all right. Computers aren't my greatest attribute, but I will try it.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yes, yes.
And that's
What's
how we
the
ended
worst
up
that could
rolling
happen?
up new characters. Picturing that scene when Homer Simpson caused the reactor simulator to melt down. Oh my God, he tried to use his computer and he fell off the world.
Damn, I jinxed it.
That's the worst that could happen, Rex.
Sorry, guys. I went to log in and my mind went blank.
You hit the wrong button.
You went to log in and you went blank. Okay, so have you actually used not Rex? I mean, yes, Rex, but as Rex, have you used or attempted to use a computer terminal before?
I think I tried with some of those Coke machines, if you count that as a computer terminal.
Okay. Well, I mean that's a different matter.
Usually Rex stands guard and lets
That's
the
right.
experts deal with it. But
Okay, Rex. See if I can find this here. For a small rule book, it sure is easy to lose stuff in it. Come on. Thank you. Start by rolling a d6. How about that? That much I know.
all right. Six.
6. Okay. Probably not good. Well, not successful anyway. But let's see. So you are using a computer terminal. Where is it? Where is the table? Yeah, the screen just kind of winks on and off, and there's a rather pronounced beep when you just take the palm of your hand and mash it down onto the keyboard.
Rex is going to look over his shoulder and see if the others are looking.
Gerg is cringing.
Turn a little bit.
Just kidding, guys. Just kidding.
It actually did not harm you or the machine. So, and I'm sorry, it should have been a D10. So you can roll a D10 for your second shot.
Eight. Much better.
This time it does twice as much. Which is to say it blinks and beeps twice and you're sitting back at the menu screen again.
Gerg.
Hello, computer. Hello.
Just funning you, little guy.
All right, roll it again.
All right. Aye, a 4.
Okay, you are to something that says File Menu and has a whole bunch of options you can select under that. Roll another D10.
6.
Plus 6. Okay. Screen beeps, blinks, and you're back at File Menu. Nothing else happens.
Sorry, it's my steak. It's my
Got any
sausage-like
cards, Gerg?
fingers.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try this again. Hey, we'll watch this, Gerg. A 1.
Okay, you are in the technical manuals section.
See, I knew I'd find it.
All right.
All right, sit her down.
Give it. Well, you got you haven't haven't opened any of the files yet, so give me another check.
I am going to start sweating as I try to move the cursor down to one of the files.
Okay.
Ooh, 6.
Yeah, you can get it scrolling up and down, but you keep tapping it. You're not sure if there's an input lag or what, but you keep tapping and going past the file you're trying to get to.
Oh, must not have been debugged. Let me try something else here. Ooh, another 6.
Yeah, same.
All right, I heard of this one trick one time. 4.
Whatever trick it was, you press up and you go past the file again.
That was trickier than I had thought. All right. 5.
Yeah, you just keep paging up past where you want to be.
Rex will start uttering obscene words under his breath.
Okay.
Gurgle kind of saunter over to walk across the panel and kind of look at him like, "You want me to take over?"
Oh. Now he's like hitting the side, trying to use the old manual encouragement.
Percussive maintenance.
Get it next time.
All right. So that last one was an 8.
Okay, you're on a completely different looking screen. Technical manuals has been replaced by file maintenance system.
Oh. All right, maybe I'll just reconfigure this and then we'll get those technical reports.
Gurg.
All right, 4.
A 4. Let's see. You are now on a screen that says general system maintenance. You kind of feel like you're further and further away from getting to those technical manuals.
Is it getting hot in here?
Flop, sweat.
So now he'll just close his eyes and start randomly pressing buttons. And rolls an 8.
Okay. Yeah. Beep. Redraws.
He's gonna break it, Gerg.
Gurg.
Gerg, did you want a shot? I mean, I think this is broken, but
Gurg. He'll stomp over to the panel and take a shot.
Okay. I know where you're at in the flow chart. Well, Gerg has used a computer successfully before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're just like escape, cursor down, cursor over, enter, beep. And there's the list of technical manual files.
Okay, he'll kind of huff a little and kind of sidelong glance at Rex. Start looking through the list and see what we can find.
Well, he's kind of uppity, isn't he?
Yeah, there's some basic system maintenance stuff there for like what are you guys looking for specifically to teach her?
Maybe computer maintenance, maintenance for the facility, vehicle manuals, stuff like that, weaponry manuals, whatever.
Nothing like vehicle or weaponries, but there is actually, you know what? I will say, yeah, there's light arms and medium explosive maintenance. And some some light equipment and systems maintenance here.
I'll direct my thoughts towards Rex and have him go fetch the robot lady.
What are we talking
right.
about here? Terabytes, gigabytes? Like how much brain can we fill up here?
You have no idea.
So Rex will, go in. Is she laying down, standing up? How is she?
She is out in the hallway.
Okay.
So you guys didn't tell her to follow you. So when you got off the elevator, she's just standing out in the hallway, and one of the local personnel is standing there having a very pleasant conversation, and she is not responding at all. She's just got kind of just passive expression on her face, and he's just chatting away with her, and she's just
Serious cold shoulder.
So Rex will say to the guy, "Look, man, she's just not going for it. Sometimes you have to know when to quit." And then he will sort of pick her up, since he's still in the power armor. So pick her up and throw her over his shoulder and just walk her back that way.
Okay. Roll a d20, please.
He's gonna break her, Gerg.
14. What could go wrong?
You do not slam her bodily into the ceiling when you put her over your shoulder.
No wonder he wasn't getting the computer working right. He was in power armor.
Every time he touched the keyboard, you guys would hold your breath. All right, so you carry her over to the terminal.
I will gently set her down on her feet in front of it. And then I will take a few steps back and let Gerg do his thing.
Okay, Gerg just kind of looks at her and points at the terminal.
Give her a name.
Or
ask her what she wants to be named. Does she have a preference? I'm going to ask her. What is your name?
No preloaded identification name has been given.
What do you think, Betty?
Gerg.
Yes, Betty is a fine name.
It's either Betty or Karen.
Not Karen.
She does have short hair, but it's not like that.
In my time, Karen meant something different. Let's go with Betty.
Betty it is.
All right. She blinks and says, command designation, Betty accepted.
Well, Betty, would you mind having a seat at this terminal and have a look at what's on the screen for a sec? Maybe you read it, compute it, absorb it.
She glances at it and turns and repeats everything that was on the screen. File, ready, print, stop, start, help. Everything that's on the screen.
Can I open up one of the maintenance files to let her sit down and take a look at it?
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that. Then I'll show her how to scroll through it.
You notice for the first time that what you thought was maybe dirt or wrinkles or something like that, she has very, very fine, delicate seams at major joints in her body. She holds up her right hand and turns it just so, sets it down on the console, unplugs a wire from the back of the keyboard and plugs it into the stump. And the screen just starts to strobe.
Ah, okay.
That's a little creepy, but efficient.
Yeah.
I hope there weren't any files about getting sentience in there.
Or
I understand.
for that matter.
I understand now. Humanity is a virus. Cancer of this planet. No, she does not do that. But she she absorbs as much of the data as the one file contains.
Okay.
Because she stops, unplugs the wire, picks her hand up, snaps it back on.
Okay. I'll point at the other files and see if she understands what I'm trying to get at. Go through the other files is what I'm trying to get her to understand. I'll try to process that thought to Milo.
Okay.
Have him tell her that.
Okay. She proceeds to do it all again. But there are a good many files on small arms, on air conditioning units, on door hydraulics, on ancient viewing device like she's using maintenance. So it may take her a while to go through that.
Excellent. Maybe we'll get this facility up and running like a top before long.
As long as we don't blow it up.
Yeah. Don't push the shiny red button.
Yeah. All right, so she's going to be absorbing data for a good while. What are you guys going to do in the interim?
Well, we should get the elevator working again.
Yeah, that or
perhaps there's a file
the
on.
Elevator is physically broken now, so
damn, we're always stuck walking forever now.
Yeah,
maybe there's a file on elevator maintenance in there.
Whole new elevator.
Yeah, I'll look for a file that says Otis.
Yeah, there's no Otis.doc, Otis.text or anything like that. So she's absorbing data away.
Is there more to explore, guys, or?
Well, there's definitely some robots we need to do something about down below.
That's true. Well, we got the power armor this time.
True. He's not busy trying to fix the elevator.
See, the only problem with this now is she's going to know way more about our base than us.
True.
This can only
all your base are belong to her.
She's going to turn into be a replicant. I know it. All right, so we're going to go down and deal with those robots.
That works
Might
for
as
me.
well.
Whatever everybody else wants to do.
All right, let's get walking. Anybody got to pick up some gear before we go? It could be a while.
That's probably a good idea. Maybe we need to get
Yeah.
some stuff to take care of those robots with. What all did we have in the stores? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, me either. Ask Betty. Hey, Betty, what do we got? She's already accessed it.
Nobody has like created a database. People are not working in Excel spreadsheets. 99% of the people that are living here are afraid to touch ancient technology.
I know.
If you guys don't have a paper list, it's 7 grenades. You're not sure what they are, and a couple of blasters, and a couple of power packs.
Well, we probably need the grenades for certain. Hopefully none of them are like atomic powered, blow the entire base up.
All I have is my personal stuff on me.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a laser rifle and a laser pistol, so.
Wait, on the back of the sheet, though, I got 6 energy cells, atomic, plastic armor, box with 4 radiation symbol, missile case, 2 rifles, pipes and tubing, the journal from the Orleans, more clothes for that Yexel,
The Exel did love his clothes to eat.
Powered alloy, plate armor, plastic armor. We've got the green and the blue pass, red and a yellow and a red one. But I'm sure we had more.
Yeah, I had that wallet that had like several different colors in it. Thought I gave that to Rex at one point, but we took it away from him when he wasn't there the last time.
Nope. The wallet? Did you say?
Yeah, I think it was a wallet that had like I think it was 5 or 6 different cards in it, or a case of some sort. I know we ended up with 2 of those violet colored badges that allowed us to get radiated in that one tunnel.
Well, I guess I'll put on this powered alloy plate armor. Is that better or worse than plastic? Gotta be better, right?
I think it is.
All right, put that on. Slap in a new energy cell.
Powered plate is armor class 3.
Cool. And then load up for bear / robot. Bring the 2 rifles. All the energy cells we got. Make for the stairs.
Alrighty. Well, to spare our audience, it is a stair shaft. It is designed just to go down parallel to the elevator, which just takes you straight to the reactor. There's not like multiple levels of this base. There's the couple of levels up top, and then there's the energy production area where you were. And after quite a while, which you're going down at least, so that's not terrible. But it is a bit of a hike. It's a good half an hour walk straight down. You once again find yourself in the dim and dusty corridors of the lower levels. You come out the door. You've got a very short passage to the right, which dead ends into a hazard striped wall. And you've got the passage to your left. Immediately on your left is the janked up elevator doors that are like pried open with, Rex's power armor hands pushed aside.
I just
and it just kind of continues on down towards the reactor area where you were before.
I'm gonna look to the guys and be like, "Hey guys, you think we could like shut these robots down? I think there's a computer terminal down here that might."
I'm sure there is. It's just a matter of keeping the robots off of us while we're trying to operate it and shut them down.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Sure.
So everybody got a rifle? I got 2. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we should set some kind of trap. Could we, like, booby trap the doorway for something heavy to fall on a robot, or?
It sucks fighting down in the atomic level.
The only thing that we could possibly drop on them, I think, has already been dropped. The elevator. I don't think there's much else in the floor down here that we could use for that purpose. We could try to crush one of them in the doors if we could get them to shut quickly enough. Remember, we had to open those doors to get into that one room.
Oh, that's right.
Isn't that huge track down here?
I think that was up in the main entrance to the whole base.
Oh, the railway track? Yeah, that's up
right.
top.
Well,
do we want to try the doors?
yeah, might as well try one of them.
Okay. I can slide one card. Milo can slide the other. Rex, if you want to be ready with a laser or a grenade or something.
And as Gerg sends that telepathically and he looks back, Rex is already standing at the door with the rifle pointed at it.
Okay.
Got one in both hands, pulling a Rambo.
Alrighty. So, thank you, Dungeon Minister. Laughing at how much the tiny tournament map bugged me. I was talking about A2 earlier. So the door in front of you, you try a couple different key cards, and finally it hisses open. The room is dark, save for a flickering round bluish light in the ceiling. It's kind of emitting a faint buzzing sound. It is mostly empty except for a bar that goes from side to side. It's a fairly narrow room, maybe only a couple of meters. And about halfway down its length, it's about 3 meters deep. Halfway down its length, there's a bar that goes from side to side. And there are these bent pieces of wire, all the same size and triangular shaped, hanging from the bar. Lying on the floor underneath it are crumbling bits of semi-translucent, you're not sure, cloth. A couple of them look like gloves, something like that.
This is a little different from the last time we were here.
Do they look like clothes hangers?
Roll a d6. We'll see if Rex has that memory.
Oh boy. 2.
You're like, you put the you can, all you got in your memory is some screaming old lady threatening a child with one, but you can't figure out exactly what they're supposed to be for.
Guys, these are really dangerous. We should stay away.
Like I said, I think this is a little different from the last time we were here.
Well, I assumed you were opening a different door.
Oh,
one
no.
of the doors you hadn't opened.
My idea was to open the sliding doors. There was like 2 card slots on each side of the door.
My apologies. Yeah. Okay. I am so sorry. Yeah. Okay. You open that door. All right. We'll say that's a vestibule.
Okay.
That's a vestibule just off of that. So there's a slot on each side of the door. You put 1 card in, and a light above it turns from red to yellow. There's a light on the other slot that stays red.
Did you use the wrong cards?
Well, you just used 1 card, right? You're just trying.
No, we're on each side of the door. Wow, Gerg's on one side and Milo's on the other.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you put them in. There's a hiss, and they open up. This is a cylindrical room. Down the middle of it is a low bench. On the other end of the room, there is a nearly identical door. There is a black and yellow circle in the middle of it. It has 3 yellow triangles radiating out from a central yellow dot in the middle of a black circle.
Okay,
and there are 2 card slots on either side of it.
I think this one we went into, this is where we went into that one tunnel. I opened the door and we got irradiated or something. we found like the guys in the suits. One was in the locker.
Yeah. I made soup out of you, or tried to anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, steer clear of that one.
Yeah, we go look for the larger door where there was like a control room in the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and we hid behind computers while we were getting shot at. And
Yes. And I mean, this was literally just a couple of hours ago. So when you go back over to that room, there's like the still smoldering chassis of a security bot sitting there with, broken treads and, its robotic head kind of cantering up towards the ceiling.
Now, did we grab the... Oh, yeah. I tried last time and I got irradiated. Yeah, never mind. We're steering clear of that.
Maybe in the future, Betty can repair it and make it less evil.
Here's to hoping.
Okay, I guess we'll check out the computers in this room then.
Unless they're
okay. Yeah, more than a few of them have blaster holes and slug throat holes in them, but there is, let's see. I will let you know what the condition is. I think... And once again, to my audience, anyone who wants to donate a Gem World First Edition GM screen to me to make this easier, I will gladly accept such a donation. Can even be the PDF, guys. Let's see. So we'll roll a D12. D12 here. Okay. Weather conditions, but with a roll that low, rather. Well, it's 2d6, not a d12. No, there's a 6. Okay, one of them has not taken a lot of damage, and it is still working. The keyboard is still accepting input, and the screen is outputting stuff.
Okay. Climb up onto the counter there and take a look at the screen and see what we've got. Last time we fooled with this, we got attacked by the robot.
Alrighty, who wants to take a crack at the computer?
Rex puts his hands up and kind of takes 2 steps back.
Okay.
Turns around, starts whistling.
Will flex his little tiny fingers and make little popping sounds. And sit down there in front of the keyboard and start poking away.
Give me a roll.
Got a 6 and a 5.
Okay, you go from login to primary menu.
Okay, inspect that menu and see what we've got listed there.
Power status, elevator monitoring, alert status, reactor condition.
Try to see what the reactor condition is.
Okay. Give me a die roll.
Got a 7 and a 6.
Yeah, you're not sure what you're doing wrong on that menu. You're not getting anything back. It just keeps coming back up to that screen.
Okay. I got 2 1s that time.
Okay. You're straight to reactor and straight to nominal. You are sitting on a screen that says primary systems control authorization.
Ooh, okay.
I'm like looking over his shoulder, tapping on my shoulder. Look there.
Okay, I'll try to access that and see what I can do.
Put the red queen on the black king.
Yeah, we'll try to access that, I guess.
All right, roll it.
2 5s that time. All right, my dice are rolling doubles.
Okay, you get into some ancillary menus. Open and close certain fan ducts and automatic elevator track lubricant system submenu.
Okay,
But
I guess I'll keep playing around and see if I can find something a little different now. Maybe something that kind of gives like a manifest of the base, perhaps.
Okay.
Something that says security.
Yeah, that too. 2 3s again with the doubles.
Oh yeah, you're just stuck at that menu.
Okay, keep playing. I got an 8 and a 5.
Yeah, you
Going around in circles.
Yeah, you get temporary lockout on one screen, and then that bounces you back to a few menus previous.
Okay, 4 and a 1.
Takes you a few minutes. You are able to enter the right commands, and you're now back at the menu you were before you got bounced out.
Okay. Pair of 7s. Come on, I'm rolling doubles.
Okay, you're back over to the ancillary menu that's got it's got important physical plant stuff.
Okay. Double 1s this time.
Okay. You are at a screen that says Primary Administrator Systems Control Menu. You have overridden the command authorization for whatever this ties into, the mainframe, if you will. And just as you do that, the door flies open and 3 security bots roll in. Halt, intruders.
I'm going to hack away and try to find a way to shut that down somehow. Something to shut it down.
There is a menu option that says security Android shutdown override.
Beep. Click that thing.
I'm not taking any chances. I'm diving over the terminal.
Let's roll initiative. That's a D6, and since it kind of comes down to whether or not Gerg can do this, you roll it for us, James.
Got a big 3.
All right, yeah, you literally like tab enter as they're like raising up their weapons, and one of them has like this multi-barrel projector of some kind that starts to spin and make this distressingly high-speed whining sound as it's locking on to your movements. Yeah, you click the shutdown override, and this box comes up. Are you sure?
Beep.
Are you sure has been selected to be yes. Click OK to authorize this.
Beep.
You have clicked OK. Did you intend to click OK?
Beep.
OK acknowledged. Press enter to acknowledge our acknowledgement.
Veep.
All right. The security robot's power down.
Okay. I wipe the pellets off my seat. Okay. Do we need to keep playing around with this and maybe possibly activate these things again? Or
Nah, I say we leave this alone now.
okay, that's a great idea.
Back away from the terminal. And now
Well,
hopefully
I'm
we can.
going to go look at the security bots and just inspect them a little bit, see what they.
go
Okay,
over
these
with the
security
stick.
bots, let's see. All right. The security robotoids I want to make sure I give you the. All right. They're 2.5 meters tall, humanoid shaped. They walk, these particular ones do. They have 2 arms with 2 padded tentacles, 3 meters long. And they have some kind of slug projectors. And some kind of grenade launcher.
Okay. Is there any way to access the ammunition slots for these things? Are they like sealed up or?
You would need to start rolling some die rolls.
We'll wait.
Yeah, let's go check out the rest of the base, maybe.
Yeah. Let's go take a look around.
Now that nobody's bugging us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Start walking around like we really own the place now.
Are there any other exits from this room, or was just the one we came in through, or
just the one you came in through?
Okay. Any other storage containers or lockers or anything in the room?
In this room, no, there is not.
Well, shall we go explore somewhere else then? We'll just leave the doors open here.
Might as well.
Let's go. I guess there is no other exit out of this room, right? We have to come the way we came in.
Yeah.
All right. Back to that junction.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're still at the junction. The 2 destroyed robot security bot forms are there. The larger and nastier and more aggressive seeming ones that you had encountered when you first came down here. So
now we have to find a way to get through that radiation.
Yeah.
Indeed you do.
Well, there was that skeleton that had the suit on inside the locker. I think there was one locker that had another suit on it or in it.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Yeah, we'll
there
go
was
check
gloves by those triangle thingies. Well, on the way by, if we pass those triangle thingies, I'll pick up the gloves.
Okay. They seem to be very lightweight, and you're not sure what kind of cloth they were made out of, but they seem kind of brittle and crumbling.
So they're no good no more?
Don't seem to be. I guess that depends on what your standard of good is, but
whenever we get the cleaner robot, we'll send her down here.
Maybe there's some other suits that are stored properly.
Here's to hoping.
Okay, so when we get into that small room, there was like lockers on either side, I believe. One of them had a skeleton in it, in a suit, and I think there was a suit in one of the other lockers.
That is correct.
Okay. Are these suits any good?
Well, let's see.
I don't think they're going to have a Gerg-sized suit, buddy.
Maybe I can get
all suits are Gerg-sized suits.
Yeah, I could climb in Rex's helmet.
God, it smells like a pet store in here.
He's not wet, is he?
Ugh. Never get the smell out of that suit.
Okay, so the condition of that suit is poor, and there's just parts of it that just don't seal up properly.
Start rifling through the lockers. We're looking for that suit in the locker.
So in the locker you find let's see. Now we get to check to see if you find any artifacts.
Well, you should be good from the radiation, hey Rex? As should I with this powered. What is it?
Yeah, it's really just Gerg is the only one.
Yeah, if I could find some headgear or something you guys could seal me up in, it might be okay.
Would he have room to fit in my helmet? It's a big fishbowl thing.
Yeah, but it's also padded so you don't smash your head against the inside when you're running wearing your armor. I mean, potentially, but I mean, like,
we'll save that for emergencies.
I would be plastered up against the glass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rex's powered armor just has small cameras that view the outside world, so it's more like you just be mashed up against the inside. Yeah. All right, so you are looking in these there are some dusty, crumbling relics of the before time. Nothing that appears to work. There's just like in one of them, there's a black slab of what appears to be glass, but on the back is completely opaque. It weighs maybe 1/3 of a kilogram. You could brain a rat with it. That's about it. In another locker, there are similar effects, bottles of some kind of brightly colored paint or something that's completely dried up with little tiny brushes in them. There are faded images. You're not sure how they were created, but they're set in little metallic frames of pre-war men and women. Sometimes there's what appear to be families together or children by themselves. And occasionally some of them are highlighted against beautiful blue oceans or lush green forests or fantastic cities of the ancients. It all kind of leaves you feeling sort of melancholy.
We should make like a little shrine or something.
Does this trigger any memories for Rex?
That's a good question. What's Rex's intelligence?
I think it's 11. Yeah.
Yes. Looking at you don't recognize the people in the photo, but just unbidden, looking at one of the pictures of a family, they're wearing bits of costume, holding up brightly colored, the children are holding brightly colored spheres that seem to float above them. Rex, you just think, man, that was a beautiful day at Disney for those folks. And you have no like on either end of that, you don't have anything to connect it to, but you know that's where it was.
This looks kind of familiar with those weird dishes on their head, and I distinctly remember the smell of turkey leg.
Mm-hmm.
I must have been there at some point.
Just your brain just kind of attaches laughter and happiness to it, but you don't know why, and you're not sure if it's more depressing not knowing or knowing that you don't know.
I wonder if this place still exists, or maybe we could make our own Disney World.
Berg.
And then Gerg probably feels the sadness and Rex swelling up.
Oh yeah.
He makes sure that the visor's opaque so no one can see the tears rolling down his cheeks.
Meanwhile, Milo is like, she's hot.
Yeah. I just like the ones with all the oceans, and I was thinking we'd make a little shrine or something.
Yeah. I mean, you've never been to the ocean. You don't even know what it looks like. There are occasionally green plants. Sometimes they're not supposed to be green.
An aversion to plants now.
Yeah, there are. Sometimes they, try to teleport their young into your abdominal tract if you stop too close to them.
So is that the extent of what we find in the lockers?
Yeah, just little personal effects like that.
Okay.
What are we gonna do? Keep looking around for a suit? Can we mishmash a couple of pieces from both suits together and make a functioning suit? You think maybe?
Well, I could wait outside the little airlock thing here, and you guys could go on and explore.
Splitting the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could always take a chance to get radiated and possibly mutate, but then again, I could die too.
Yeah, we don't want that either. Maybe we'll find a suit in the next room.
Okay.
We'll be back for you.
Okay.
All right, Rex.
Let's do it.
Gerg, stick
All right, so Gerg is all the way out in the hall, yes?
Yes.
Okay. When you guys put your cards in before you even touch the door, there is this just ear-shatteringly loud klaxon, and the outer doors, the one that Gerg is just outside of, slide shut very quickly with a resounding clang and boom, and you hear this ratcheting sound from somewhere inside them, followed by a clang.
Oh.
And the others open up. The room beyond is suffused with a red light tinged by a faint blue glow that's coming from somewhere to the left inside this room.
Enter, I guess.
Yeah.
Start looking around for terminals, anything that says vent gas. I don't know.
Oh no,
Decontaminate.
I was going to have my legs broke.
Exactly.
Okay. So this room through a window overlooks a large, very placid body of extremely clear water. In the middle of it is a honeycomb structure that looks to be about 3 meters down beneath the surface of the water. And that is where this lovely, almost sky blue glow is emanating from. Everywhere there are triangular red and white signs. And in the middle of those signs is a red circle with red triangles radiating out from it. You recognize the word warning on the signs, but there are other symbols underneath it that may be other languages that the ancients spoke. The only controls that you see, there are a few buttons, but there are also there's a great complex multi-jointed lever system.
Did you say leather or letter?
Lever,
Leather.
Leveer.
Does anything say emergency shutoff?
No, none of the controls are actually marked, except there is a glass panel. Underneath that panel is a button about the size of the palm of your hand. And inexplicably, written above it, it says, break glass, depress switch to scram.
Rex will turn to Milo. So that's got to be it, right? I mean, why would you make a big red button unless it's to stop the bad things?
I don't know. Whenever I ever told anybody to scram, it meant take off.
Like take off the radiation?
Here's to open. Let's so you said there's only one panel. Can we access that at all? A control panel?
Yes, there are just a few switches. The multi-jointed handles or levers, and then under glass, this is break glass, depress switch to scram.
Did you want to try, or did you want me to try?
Scissors. I don't know. You do it. I'll cover my ears.
All right. Here we go. And if Gerg is still in range, he just gets the emotional sense of oh shit. And Rex will break the glass.
Okay.
And follow the instructions.
Okay. There is a Gerg, you're cut off from your friends. You don't sense anything.
Okay.
Whatever material these doors are made out of, it does not allow your psychic powers to penetrate.
Okay.
So you don't know if they walked in and were disintegrated or what. However, out in the hall and in the room, an ear-shattering klaxon sound begins to repeat over and over again. You hear a booming noise, and coming down rapidly from the ceiling and dipping into the pool is what looks like this great multitude of metal rods. There's some dull gleaming metal, and they dip into the pool. I mean, they practically drop. It's almost an uncontrolled drop how fast they're going. The pool ripples and churns. The blue glow stops almost completely. Every green light in the room begins to wink off.
Okay.
After how long are you guys going to wait in the room?
It's done, right? We could probably leave. Join.
Yes, maybe we should go. We don't see any lights or buttons that say do something else, do we?
Nope. There's the multi-jointed levers. There's a few buttons. There's a couple of slidey levers next to the buttons, but that's it. Nothing appears to be labeled.
Well, mission accomplished then, right?
So, I mean, it's not blue anymore.
Are there any lights or anything going on out in the hallway, or is it everything go dark? Or
Yeah, the lights had begun to dim in the hallway, and smaller lights attached to boxes fade on, but then fade out almost immediately.
great.
We're losing power.
And Gerg, you notice that the omnipresent, very faint, like you didn't notice it was gone, or you didn't notice it until you noted its absence. It just goes away.
Okay. Does it grow eerily quiet in this place too, or is it?
It does. It does.
I'm gonna start banging on that big heavy metal door and see if I get any response.
Which, considering your raccoon sized, is about like
Yeah. Think, think.
tap, tap, tap. Like imagine your cat is outside and tapping on your front door with its paw. That's about what it's like.
Any like whooshing or like new extra like fresh
Nope.
oxygen? Nothing.
Nope, nothing like that.
You know, we could always see if Betty's ready to come back here and take a crack at it.
Yeah. But do we open the doors? That's
Gerg, you are in. Does Gerg have infravision?
No.
Okay, Gerg, you're in
He
total
is
darkness
a
now.
raccoon, though. I mean, he might have some night vision of some sort.
he's got those shiny beady eyes.
Yeah, it's not really. No. You are now in total darkness, Gerg.
I could use my light generation and kind of flash and get a glimpse every so often as I go.
You could do that.
It'd be like a strobe light. Guess I'll sit down and wait for these guys to come back if they ever do. If not, then I guess I'll try to find my way to the stairwell, climb my way back out. I'll wait for about 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay. Meanwhile,
Still
back
have-
in the control room.
Do we still have lights on our side?
Oh no.
They're out too.
Mhm.
Okay.
I will switch to either infravision or the UV vision.
Sure. Whichever suits.
Whichever helps me see things around. Probably the UV.
Okay, yeah. There is okay, look, audience, I don't know that much about radiation. I don't know if this would actually be a thing, so don't at me. There is a lot, like, it's like a bright lamp over in the pool area. Just with some ultraviolet radiation coming from whatever is in the pool.
Well, it looks like there's still something going on in the pool.
Anything?
You know, I'm starting to wonder if maybe we've made things worse.
No. So,
Is there an unscram button on here somewhere?
can we? Well, there's these levers.
We're here. We might as well. So I guess Rex will gently push a lever.
All right. So Rex, you're just like, I'm just going to grab a lever and push it. Okay. Roll a d10.
All right. Certainly nothing will go wrong with this.
I mean, if we saved the world once already, so we
Oh,
should
there
be
we go.
even, right?
1.
Okay. There is a. Well, let me see something here first of all. All right, I'm going to go with that. And okay. Yeah, so you got your UV on. Something is basically casting shadows. The ultraviolet haze. Something has started to move. Give me just a minute here. Okay. There's kind of a mechanical whining that goes on for a moment, and then it stops. A light near that lever is winking off and on blue.
Blue is good, right?
Gotta be. I've never seen it do another color.
So is this lever all the way in the on position now, or is it like a stick shift? I can.
It's you slid it forward.
All right.
Anything new happening in the pool?
Not to your knowledge.
Yeah, I can't see. I was asking Rex.
Right. Yeah. Anything in there?
You don't see anything immediately, no.
Well, then I guess I'll do another one, and he'll go ahead and do another lever.
Roll it.
Okay. It's gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be good. It's a 6.
Okay, there's a little hydraulic activity sound, but nothing major seems to change.
Are there more levers or switches?
Yeah, I mean, you can move the levers in other directions.
There you go.
Oh, well, I will move. Is there what looks like should be one of those flashy button thingy, or not buttons, but flashy lights on there, but it's not lit up?
Sure. There's a few
Okay.
dials
Then
and controls.
he will move that lever again to see if he can get it to turn blue.
We need another blue one.
Roll it.
Come on, blue. 10.
Yeah, there's just kind of a repeating whirring and booming sound, but nothing really changes.
All right, maybe I didn't shift it right. So he'll try this guy again.
All right.
2.
Okay, you can now visibly see, well, ultravioletly see, a mechanism that looks like nothing more than a large metal trapezoid on a huge number of cables, and hanging from underneath that trapezoid is what appears to be a large hook. It's now lowered down, and it's a meter or so above the surface of the pool.
Oh. And Rex will tell Milo.
Careful of those rods.
I mean, do we want to take the rods up? Is that what we're trying to do here?
Well, when the rods went down, everything went out.
So I guess we got to get them up, right?
I guess.
What could go wrong? So he'll try another lever.
Roll it.
8.
8. Okay. The large hook rotates 90 degrees and then stops.
Okay. He'll try a dial this time.
Okay, roll it.
4. It's not too bad.
Doesn't do anything.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go back to that lever and see if he can do something with that hook.
All right.
Oh, God. 10.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to do anything now.
No. All right. All right. Well, we'll try this guy one more time.
You can do it.
1.
Okay, it rotates back the other way and moves back into a central position where it was when you first got it to move down into view.
Did you want to take a crack, Milo?
Sure. All right, let's see here. 4.
Okay, the hook swings back slightly and it lowers down into the water to the top of the trapezoid, and you hear kind of a clang boom sound.
I don't know. Is that good? I'm working on feel here. I can't see anything.
I think that was good. You hit something.
Ooh, 7.
Yeah, nothing changes.
I don't know. I'll try turning it. That's 1.
Okay, you can hear a motor start, and the ultraviolet glow gets a little bit gets a little bit bigger.
Like I can see it now, or only Rex can see it?
No, only Rex.
What do you see, Rex? I can't see nothing.
Well, it's getting bigger. It must be
And
working.
Is that good?
A couple of lights on the console have turned green.
Well, look, they're green. Green means good, right?
It means go.
You're doing it, Milo.
7.
Yeah, there's kind of a grinding sound, and the platform sort of moves back and forth, but it doesn't really change.
All right. Give her another go. Oh, that's another 7.
Let's see. Nothing changes.
I don't know, buddy. I think you were having better luck than I was. Give
All
her
right.
one more kick at the cat, and then I'll let you have a go.
All right. Go for it.
6.
Nothing changes.
Damn.
All right. It's Rex's time to shine. And
Because he's been exposed to gamma radiation.
Try again. 5.
Nothing changes.
These ancients were certainly tricky. And he will try again with another 5.
Nothing changes.
He will try moving 2 levers at the same time. 2 of the levers that are not lit up. Let's try that.
Okay, roll it.
5. Man.
Yeah, you try to push them both at the same time, and they don't move. Neither one of them moves.
He will try 1 that's not lit up.
Okay.
6. It's a different number.
It moves, but nothing happens.
Mm-hmm. All right. I got this now. 2.
Okay. Clang, boom, and the cables begin to tighten and move, and you can now see the plate at the top of the trapezoid has just breached the surface of the water, but it does not go any further. You now have a row of green lights, a blue light, and a yellow light across the top of the console above various levers and knobs.
I will monkey with the yellow one to get it to turn something better.
Okay.
Oh God, 10. It's going to be something worse.
Okay. The crane mechanism, I think we can call it that, fully comes up out of the water, and it brings all of the metal rods with it. In fact, it seems to be bringing lots of the metal rods with it, more than it lowered in. And before you, or rather, just after this, you get a lot of UV radiation. In fact, your suit has to dim. There is a thump and a hum. All of the lights that were green now turn yellow, but lights are beginning to come back on. And there is a buzzer. There's a buzzing sound coming from in the somewhere within the console.
Well, lights are on. Well, the lights are on, but I don't know, Milo. Something doesn't feel right about this. By the way, you should probably stand behind me.
I think we should never come down here again.
I agree. Maybe I should try to undo what I just did. So he will try to get that back to green.
Okay.
4.
Okay. A separate cable mechanism lowers a very few of the rods back into the water. One of the lights winks to green.
Okay. Are the overall lights still on?
Yes.
Okay. So I will try again to get more of those green. 2.
Okay, there's some shifting and some maneuvering. A couple more of the lights go green. The buzzing in the console stops.
All right, I think that's a little better.
The lights have come back on, by the way, in the hallway, Girk.
Awesome. That means they're still alive, I think.
So how do I still have a lot of yellow or what?
A couple of the lights are yellow.
And do I have I think there's a radiation detector on the suit. Can I tell? Let me. Ultraviolet, infrared sensors. That's weird. I don't see. Is there anywhere to check what the radiation level is here?
You've got a dosimeter. If you weren't in your suit, you and your friend might be feeling very, very sick right now.
Okay, so it's still no bueno. All right. Yeah. Well, I think we have to flip switches until more go green. Reminds me of games as a child. So he'll try another yellow one. 4.
Roll it.
I think he said he got a 4.
Yeah.
A 4? Okay. One more light turns green and another couple of rods slide out.
All right. Well, I'll go for another yellow.
All right.
Oh, shit. 8.
Got it to 4. Yeah, a light winks to yellow, and you very briefly see the light has like a label on it that you couldn't see before because the light wasn't illuminated. And it says backup pump system inoperative, and then winks off.
All right. I will definitely flip that one to make the backup pump operative.
Okay, roll it again.
1. Yes.
Okay, that light changes from yellow to green and stays on, and now says backup pump operative.
Okay. Are we getting
all
any...
the lights across the top are green now?
Woohoo! Are we getting a reduction in radiation?
Oh no, it's staying nominal.
All right.
You don't know what you've done. You've just been pushing shit at random. But things seem to be back to more or less where they were when you entered this room.
Get out here and send Betty down.
Yeah. I think we should let the experts check this out. My flipping wrist is tired. Let's head back out.
Hey, you have avoided the positive void coefficient situation, which can lead to all the sunshine coming out at once. There's the door if you're leaving.
Yes. Yes, let's leave.
Quickly.
Okay, as soon as you shut the door behind you, the door on the far end cycles, and you're able to leave. You guys have got a fan there out in the audience. I might pass these messages on to them for the right super chat, P. Cybers. I'm kidding. They can read it themselves. But yeah, P. Cybers has been cheering you guys on for both screwing with a reactor and not screwing with a reactor. Okay, Gerg, the lights are on, the doors cycle, and there stand your friends. You begin to itch, and all of the fur on the front of you begins to fall out. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Why can I taste metal? Why can I talk? Oh, no. It just turns into goo.
So,
I wrap my little paws around Rex's leg and hold on to him like a big hug.
Hey, Gerg, did something happen here? Nothing exciting happened back there at all.
It got dark.
Just another day at the office.
Yeah, the lights went out. That was strange. Everything was fine back there. Absolutely fine. But it's still irradiated, so maybe we should send Betty down. Is she done?
Sure.
Is she done researching?
You have no idea. Betty is 30 minutes and about half a kilometer away. So,
yeah, it's a long climb up.
Are there any other passages we can inspect?
Yeah, there are a couple of passages here and again.
Do you guys want to go ahead and do that, or do we need to get out of here and try to calm ourselves down?
I mean,
Almost blown up the
We're-
place once is enough for one day.
yeah. All right. I guess we'll head back up.
Okay.
See what Betty's learned.
All right. So you ascend the stairs slowly. Most of the base is abandoned. There are some people on their knees weeping and praying, but no, I'm kidding. Yeah, they're like, as soon as you guys come out of the door, they're like, what happened down there? Did the ancient technology fail? Did you manage to repair it? All the lights shut off. Alarms started ringing.
Really? We didn't hear anything.
Tory Claxons.
How
Yeah, they're
strange.
like, well, then maybe it was something we did. Are you sure you didn't hear anything? Because we did hear some alarms.
Gerg says, I heard nothing.
It was totally fine down there. Absolutely nothing of interest happened.
You were fine. Everything
Okay.
Did a cryptic alliance.
Cryptic Alliance, Brotherhood of the Reactor Fucker Withers. Yeah, so you shut down the reactor. I mean, you don't know what you did, but you scrammed the reactor, restarted the reactor, and shut off the security robots. Did you find any more technology down there? Any more items of the ancients?
Well, there were a few robots that we shut off.
Were they dangerous robots?
Gerg took care of that, but I'm going to assume they were extremely dangerous. Thanks to our little buddy here, we're safe.
Thank you very, very kindly, Gerg the Raccoonnoid. We are once again in the debt of you and your companions.
His chest a little bit.
All right, so you got you've, like I said, you've screwed around with the reactor and you shut off the security robots in here, and the community thanks you.
Whew.
I guess we need to check on Betty and see how she's coming along then. Of course, I'm sure the computer's all restarted.
Yeah, she crashed in the middle of or she didn't crash, but the file transfer of one document crashed, and until you guys got power back up, so she's still absorbing data. But any matter on HVAC systems, door hydraulic maintenance, small arms maintenance that you want to carry on with her, she is able to wax poetic and eloquent about it.
Crank up the AC.
Frigid air, like you are watching like frost begin to grow on the vents. She just like clack-a-da, 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 clack-a-da. Well, with her free hand while, she's reading data in through the data jack in her other hand. Like you can
Suitable
see
for humans. Sorry.
Okay, it gets less frigid. Well, alrighty. Is there anything else you guys wish to do while she absorbs some more data?
I guess I want to go check out the food production. What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, the food production is really back in Goodwater, which is many kilometers away. They have food here that they've brought in from Goodwater, but they don't exactly. I mean, they have a kitchen, if that's what you mean by food production.
Well, didn't we take most of the people from Goodwater to here? But we left some, I know.
Yeah. Basically the Goodwater sized farming community is still there.
Yeah.
And they are
Outpost 76 to here.
Yeah, they are bolstered by some people from Outpost 76 who don't want to live in a concrete lined hole in the side of a mountain. Plus the few Knights of Genetic Purity who abandoned their cryptic alliance to stop being jerks to everyone who wasn't a pure strain human.
Well, is there any other threats that we know of in the area that we need to check out?
I mean, there's always opportunities for adventures. You guys know just the tiny little bit of the world that you've seen thus far. And there was that glimpse in the various ancient images you saw printed on paper down in the storage cubicles.
That was a pretty cool castle.
Those places are not around these parts. Go ahead.
We could take the new hover car for a joyride.
True. Of course, is it still recharging or is it finished now?
It's really only been a few hours. It does have to recharge, but unless you guys want to do something specific to fill the days, I'm not one of those. I'm not so Gygaxian that I will insist. No, we have to role play out every minute. We can jump ahead. We can do that here on the show. We have that ability.
We have the technology.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
But we don't want to pay.
Well, we could just wait for another day.
That's fine with me.
All right. Well, you know what they say. A day without radiation is like a day without sunshine. So having deactivated, then reactivated the reactor, but at least for the moment, permanently deactivated the robots, you can now take your rest and wait for your vehicle to recharge until next time.
Sounds good.
Yep.
So I think we are going to go ahead and bring it on in for a landing there. I'd like to thank James and Yang and Mobius for sitting in tonight to our game. If any of you folks out there have a penchant for getting on the live stream and playing some classic Gamma World and, almost going full Chernobyl meets Son of 3 Mile Island for a bit of fun, you can go ahead and drop me a message on the Discord. But until then, until next week, thank you to our viewers tonight for sitting around and listening to us play a little GW. You guys have an absolutely stellar weekend, and we'll see you all next time. Peace out, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.